taking shots, yellow lemon drops. Their arms are raised in the air. Ooh, I pretend I don't see them. Daddy didn't give them attention. No. And I don't care. Having a panic attack today. Ooh, they must be smoking crack today. Having a panic, having a panic attack today. Cheers and welcome to From Behind the Podcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general. That was Eddie Vedder with Pearl Jam doing Panic Attack, an old 1991 hit. I believe it was voted number one song on MTV. Oh, yeah. The number one music video ever. I'm Paxton, Eugene. We have Sunwet Kelly over there.
Oh, God.
Sunroof Kelly. We won't have to talk about it, but
we can talk about it. Why not?
But it's been around. Kelly's just got over here. He walked out to his car earlier to hop in and come over to Studio A, which still exists. We are still here.
Thank God.
It's
dry.
Oh man, and it's dry. But we had a little rainstorm, and your sunroof was open.
Yep.
And
Not happy about it.
you know what happens? Your car gets wet on the outside when it rains. But now, so rip the lights on your dashboard. Thoughts and prayers. you're in them for me. But on to better news, like we said, we are still in Studio A. We had some amazing friends help us out, and the community really came together. So thank you guys. And on that note, we are sponsored this week by Raw Ingredients on Tybee Island, Georgia. Do you like sushi?
I do.
Do you like sushi in other forms besides just regular sushi, like bowls or sushi burritos?
No, I mean, I'm not as well versed when it comes to all that as what's sashimi and what's sushi and what's teppanyaki and all that. I usually get my spicy tuna roll, a spider roll, and some other stuff. You're
in the middle road of like
Nothing too exotic.
Maybe a little crab stick there, something like that.
Right.
Maybe something fried with some cream cheese inside of it. Yeah, let's go. They also have bubble tea. It's delicious. I love a bubble tea. It's off-putting to some people, but but I love a bubble tea. But yeah, so we last week we started on a couple of threads that I forgot to tie up the ends of, so we're gonna do a few addendums today.
Okay.
One of the things was we were talking about bubbles. That was kind of like the theme of last week's episode.
Yes.
And so the season's coming back now, and on Tybee especially, Savannah too, the walking traffic during the off season is kind of nil. There's not much happening there. So, but obviously when the season comes around, more people are walking around our little island, walking from spot to spot.
It's a good way to get around when the weather's accommodating.
Riding bikes, whatever. Well, typically, so when I walk to work during the off season, I might pass the 1-2 odd people walking the other direction from me.
Right.
During the season, I pass 15 people, so this thing does, and not to be too Curb Your Enthusiasm or Larry David about it, but an issue I have during the off season, during the non-season, whenever I'm walking to work, if another person is coming in my direction, I'm going in one direction, they're going in the other.
Yeah.
There's this bubble that occurs, and it's not a personal space bubble. It's a when do we acknowledge each other's existence bubble.
Like eye contact.
Eye contact. Just the admittance that there's another human somewhere near you. If you know them, and they're down the way, you go ahead and you toss that hand up. Hey, I recognize that it's you from 300 meters away, whatever.
Right.
But if you don't, I have and I think, and I don't necessarily know if they're looking at me when this happens, or if they've already clocked me, but typically I'm about a 10 to 12 to 15 feet before I pretend I'm not looking at the trees or a car going down the road, where I look up at them and almost in unison most times we both Me and the other person look at each other, give the nod.
Yeah.
And then we only have about 5 or 6 feet walking past each other post wave nod to deal with that whole, there's another human around.
Yeah.
So that's my bubble. And I think it's kind of a universal bubble, 10 to 15 feet of like, okay, here, now it's time to, hey, how you doing? Here's the wave. Here's the eye contact. Back to feeling awkward again. What's your bubble, do you think? Or are you pull out the phone 5 feet away from him, like, yeah, just skip neutral?
I've done that, definitely. I've done, very busy.
Terribly busy.
Got to take this, but good to see you. Good to see you.
Well, yeah, but this is like strangers, just purely walking down the street.
Well, strangers, I don't feel compelled at all to make eye contact necessarily.
Dang. Even if you're the two lone wolves walking down the street.
All right, maybe.
That's the real situation. You're on the sidewalk. There's nowhere else to go because the road is next to you.
Yeah. The subtle little, just that. That's about all you're going to get from me.
Which is all that I think is right. Required.
I do make eye contact.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
You're not just New Yorking them the whole time.
Yeah. But sometimes I'll go to the IGA and all that, and I just want to get in and get out. Call it social anxiety and all that. But I've got a plan. I need some milk. I need this, and this. And it's the IGA, so you're going to see people, inevitably.
I was about to say that's our little island grocery store. Yeah. It's impossible. So that's when you have to pull on the real tactics because the earbuds and the AirPods are not respected hardly anymore.
Yeah.
In terms of, the interaction part of it. So you have to really dig into something that you're not actually doing. Man, and what I hate doing is defaulting to my phone for anything. Because it just feels weak
well, I mean, if you're at least you're in the grocery store, you can grab that box of Fruity Pebbles and kind of go, I wonder what the nutritional value is on this.
How much ricin is there?
Hey, don't
what's up, man? Just checking the thiamine on this thing, if that's even a real.
That's something else going
I think the cereal company's made up thiamine or riboflavin, because that really helps with my ocular, the thing.
Well, today I went over there to grab a few things, some necessities, some basics, and the meat guy, I'm not sure if he's retiring or if it's a birthday and all that, but the whole meat back part of the IGA was just lined with people eating cake, pizza, I don't know. But it was like you couldn't walk through there.
Like the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. He's glad handing everyone.
So, yeah.
Thank you for my ribeyes this past 30 years.
And I saw Mayor West there, so I'm thinking, all right, maybe he's doing some ribbon cutting and a new meat meat cooler or something. I didn't know. I mean, you never know on Tommy what's worth a ribbon cutting. And
instead of handing him their babies like he's the president, they're handing him like half sides of beef to hold on to.
But it was cluttered up, man, and I was like, I had 4 things, and I just wanted to get in and get out, but I completely avoided the whole back of the IGA.
Well, luckily
that would have led to conversations.
Luckily, they were all concentrated in one area. Yeah, that's a minefield going into any place down here, at least, because you're in confined spaces with many people that you're probably going to end up knowing in some way, especially in both the Vower industries.
Yeah.
And the awkwardness starts happening. I gotta.
It's an absolute social circle for some people, and I understand that. It's a place. I don't want to say go to be seen necessarily, like a bar or a restaurant, but people like to walk in and say hello to the cashiers. I mean, I'd always do. I don't really keep my head in my toes.
Sure.
I mean, if someone says hello to me, I'll say hello back. But that particular point.
Well, the thing that we forget is our social life happens at work constantly.
Yeah.
Or our jobs require being social.
Yeah.
So the trip to the supermarket, you want it to be a reprieve from having to be over social, but just like the dude that gets off work and goes to happy hour to get his 2 hours of jaw jacking in with his buds before he goes home to that wife of his or whatever,
Yeah.
For some people that don't really go out to drink and shit like that, which is the majority of people, I think, church, the grocery store, the convenience store, the whatever, that's their happy hour in some sort of way. That's where they catch up on all the latest gossip and...
Yeah. I mean, I get that. It's a nice little social circle, but, for me, it's just I need to get in there and get out.
I'm there for business.
I'm here to make business and get the hell out of here.
Well, we can tell it's picking up, and our chances of reprieve are going to be shortening very much here now, because even us going out to play disc now, we have to be a little more mindful of the time we go out.
Yeah.
Just so that we're not, it sucks that I get annoyed if other people are out there doing the thing, but it's like, I just want to be with my bud.
And we are. And I think what you and I do, at least when we play disc golf together on our little course that we navigate, it's a time thing. It's not like we're like hustling through and all that, but you and I both know that we can do it in about 40 minutes or less. We're still talking. We're still having a back and forth, giggling, snickering.
Yeah, we're not jogging between holes, but we're pretty efficient with it.
Yeah, but that's how we like to navigate it. Right. There's others, groups of four and all that with the whole,
they got a disc bag and a cooler.
Yeah, and that's,
and things on wheels and music, and a drone and a dog.
And that's
that's fine though.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I'm fine. But the way you and I play when we play together, it's we want to go as quick as possible.
Yeah,
necessarily.
But visitors and people who aren't used to our lifestyle or the island's way of life, when we have visitors, it's fun to see. Or it's enlightening, and it's fun to see our lives, or what lives we participate in and what services we participated in through their lens. Yeah. I had this group of 4 people the other night, came down. It was 2 couples, one lesbian couple, and then one just not platonic couple, just one couple, and man, woman, and the man of the first relationship didn't drink or had quit drinking, but the woman still drank. And then on the other one of the women had quit drinking and the other woman still drank. And they had said as much when they ordered their Shirley Temple and their soda water with lime. Oh, she got a virgin margarita, which I was like, yeah, if I just take the tequila and triple sec out, how I basically make it, it's soda water, sour mix, and orange juice with lime.
Okay.
And up to salting the rim, which I would have had to like walk somewhere to do that. But it looked like a cocktail, And a part of a lot of what I do when I do make non-alcoholic cocktails is to make it look like a cocktail, so they don't get shit about being in a bar and not drinking, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
A quick way to get around that, honestly, is just get some water, throw a lime in it.
That's what I'm saying. I'll put the 2 little cocktail straws in it.
Urban camouflage.
Right. Yeah.
Social camouflage.
Yeah. So so since I know this right at the outset, I'm wondering how they're going to navigate it, because if I had stopped drinking, going to a bar would be obviously triggering to me.
Sure.
Being around people drinking, but if I had a significant other that wanted to go out and drink, I would not want to deprive them of not my company, but just having their significant other being with them.
And I would like to think there was a discussion beforehand, like, are you cool with this?
Oh, dude. Well, that's the thing.
Do we need a safety word? Like, if this isn't happening,
pineapple, let's go.
Get out of the car. Like, I thought I could.
Yeah.
But I can't. I just can't. Not yet.
So I was waiting sort of on the foot to fall, the fallout to happen. And it never did. But the thing was, the 2 drinkers of each couple, they had 1 or 2 each. That was pretty much it. But over a pretty long period of time. Now, I don't think there's a moratorium on how much the significant other was allowed to drink, because they weren't like, oh, I better stop here. They just that's how much they naturally drank over an hour or so.
Yeah.
But I'm like, any of the couples that I know, if one of them wasn't drinking, this would not last very long, being at the bar.
Yeah.
And so I started talking to the non-drinkers. I was like, how do you do it? And they're just like, look, man, as long as I have something.
You're right.
And I think a lot of it was because their significant others weren't terrible drunks. They were like, baby, becoming an annoyance.
Yeah.
So as long as they had something to sip, and I was like, well, what about cigarettes? He was like, I quit smoking since I quit drinking. I was like, same, dude.
Yeah.
Because I cannot smoke a cigarette ever, and I've said this endlessly, but I can not smoke forever. I take 1 sip of alcohol, I'm going to chug and speed run an entire pack of cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one with the other. It's like trying to poop without taking a pee. Try that sometime. It's impossible. Try it.
When I get home.
Try it.
I might now. No, but you're right. I guess if going to a bar like and Huckapoo's obviously serves food, or just about every bar serves food. That's a straight up bar, or maybe not all of them on Tybee. But like going to Olive Garden would be easier to navigate not drinking
right.
than going to Huckapoo's and not drinking. You know, I could go here. I know there's wine. I know whatever and all that, but I'm here to eat. The temptation wouldn't be there for me. I'd like to think that.
And you're probably at a table as well.
Right. But go to a bar where everybody's around you, then the Pavlovian part kind of kicks in, whether you want it to or not. And
that's just nature.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't think it's. I don't know if depending on where I was on my journey.
Yeah.
Would it be a failure to pull the ripcord? I don't think so. It's like I got to acknowledge this. I'm not ready for it. I'm not. And maybe down the road I will be, but right now water and lime's not getting it done.
Right. It's not about the participation. The sipping of a liquid. It's like, no, I want to be drunk around these people.
And like you said, if the other party is still, rolling in fifth gear like they always did, like, well, he's not drinking anymore because of whatever reasons, or she's not, that kind of thing.
But then Larry's over here getting soused. That's annoying.
And maybe I'm overthinking or overanalyzing this, but then maybe you start thinking the boundaries of this relationship. Like, all right, if I'm not doing this anymore, then that was probably tied to a lot of other things. So if you're not willing to pump the brakes at all for my benefit,
right,
and maybe it might be asking much.
Yeah, because the two non-drinkers of each couple didn't look like they were in like health dire straits or anything like that. And one was a guy and one was a girl that were the non-drinkers. I think the girl was pregnant, maybe. Yeah. I don't know how. She's dating a woman, but there's ways to do it.
There's ways.
There's ways to do it, obviously. The old turkey baster or whatever. But the dude, like, he didn't seem like his problem was like being a drunk.
Okay.
He wasn't like over there sweating, like, oh, what am I doing here?
Yeah, not
he was like real relaxed about it, Yeah, I don't know. It was just, now I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty good at profiling for the most part, but maybe not profiling whether someone has a problem or not. But maybe. I mean,
well, if I had to put myself through that type of ringer, which I probably should, and I've had moments where I've taken breaks, out of necessity. Probably I should have taken longer breaks at certain times and all that. But if I was a hot mess, I think the first thing I would do is to be like, I just can't go there right now. I mean, I might
can't go to the bar.
Yeah, I just cannot go to a bar right now. Whether I quit smoking and that was hand in hand or whatever,
right.
But I think I'd probably be crushing cigarettes.
You're going to find a substitute in some sort of way.
Some sort of pep. Yeah,
that's not soda water.
Hand to mouth, sort of whatever the hell it is. Something that keeps just that sort of rhythm, that social rhythm going. So
social rhythm, I like that.
Yeah, but if I, if out of necessity, which I probably should have, and we talked about this not too long ago, like that, I needed to take a break.
Yeah.
Even if it was just a few weeks, just to kind of recalibrate and all that. But if I was to outright quit, I mean, I might have to change my, my landscape.
Yeah.
I might have, it's like Tybee served a purpose.
Yeah.
It was great, but I don't think I have the mental or the wherewithal.
Yeah.
To navigate this.
The intestinal fortitude.
Yeah. And I don't want to say that just because I would walk into any bar on this island that people were like, oh, you're off the wagon now and whatever. But but there are those people who almost you feel compelled.
Oh, buddy.
Because they just won't leave it alone. And you don't have time to tell them about this journey you're on right now.
No,
because
doesn't matter.
Because they don't care.
Yeah.
If you're in a bar, you're there to drink.
Right.
And there's no middle ground. At least, and I've experienced that.
I'm a lot in the same way. Like, there's no middle ground with me. Either it's I'm dead ass sober or I'm partying, smoking cigs, drinking, you know?
Yeah.
Until the wee hours.
Yeah, well, I've been there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not judging, but yeah, that would be a different landscape to navigate. Absolutely.
Right about this, near the same time, but there's another couple. They ended up being from Atlanta. Black couple, probably like mid 30s, maybe early 30s, something like that. But they came up to my outside bar, sat down, got 2 Coronas. And then a boisterous couple of people came up next to him. They're like, is it cool if we move over to a table? I was like, yeah, I understand. I was like, yeah, I understand. Like, this person literally just plopped down next to you. And they'd already had, this couple had already been talking for like 5 minutes, having like a decent time, and then plops down some, person. So they moved over to a table, but after I'd given them their Coronas right away and put the limes in there, I saw them both popping out napkins and shit and wiping off the limes and the ridge of the cup and all that. And I was like, I didn't take any offense to it at all, because in that moment I was like, I never look at it from an outside lens, but these people have seen me like grabbing all kinds of shit off of the bar.
Sure. Yeah.
And like touching like menus.
Yeah.
And I'm taking my raw hands and putting limes in their drinks.
Yeah.
And so I didn't take any offense to it at all. I was like, oh shit, that just kind of snapped into mind. I was like, man, I've touched everything since they've been here. And then before I stuck limes in there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to get a lime picker every time, but like people from Ohio and those other people, one of the couples, the drinking and non-drinking couples, one of them got a land shark, which I put a lime in, and they didn't look twice at my grubby hands. Right. It just didn't cross their mind. That wasn't in their thing.
It rarely crosses my mind. I mean, I guess maybe it depends on the establishment. And I'm not saying you can't have a clean environment at a dive bar or whatever, or have some protocol.
But looking around, you're like, no, this isn't the place where I want you raw dogging my lime.
Yeah, but I guess when I would go to a bar, I'd suspend disbelief, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
We're all a petri dish of sorts.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there are things that are blatant, like, well, that's spoiled fish, that's going to get you sick, or that's salmonella. But as far as like a bartender cracking up in a beer for me, I've never given it two thoughts.
Neither have I.
Whether it's with the thing or just
and neither have I, and I won't in the future because I've lived this long without it. But there are certain things like my feet can never touch the shower drain in my shower. I don't. It means nothing, honestly, but I don't do it.
It means something, apparently.
I don't do it. I mean, it means nothing health wise. You know what I mean? Like, right. But I still do it.
Yeah.
So the couple goes and sits down over there. Also, wasn't offended by them not wanting to be around this boisterous jerk off in the middle of the bar. The guy comes over to get another beer, and so I grab the beer out. I take a napkin, grab the lime for him, wrap it up in the napkin, and hand it to him. And the knowing nod, he goes, it was, hey, you get it.
Yeah.
And I was happy to do it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you've opened my eyes to a perspective that I just had never thought about. And it wasn't like, hey, F you, buddy, here's your clean lime. Mister, don't touch my lime with your cigarette, touching menus, wiping noses, so then whenever they went to close out, he was like, hey, man, we had a really great time. I was like, yeah, sorry about they're like, no, we found a table over there. Totally fine. It went as well as it could go.
Yeah.
But because I've had other people that either when I've put the lime on the edge of their drink or whatever, it's almost like kryptonite and they toss it right off onto the bar like a child. Yeah. And I'm like, let's calm that down a little bit. You could do it two ways. One, the way this couple did it.
Yeah.
And they weren't like holding it up to me like, look, we're cleaning this off because you grubby son of a bitch. But they didn't throw it on the bar like a fucking child.
Yeah, we had talked about this probably in past episodes about just that etiquette of, what do you do with that, that accoutrement to it. Like when I drink Captain and Coke on the regular, I never took it with a lime ever. Yeah. And depending on the establishment or whatever, they'd ask, do you want it or not? And I'd always throw my little joke out there, save it for the scurvy, whatever, the old pirate thing, something. But I didn't need it. But if it was on there, I would just put it on my little napkin,
right?
Right. But I certainly wouldn't frisbee it off or boomerang it off across the deck.
Did I ask for that?
Yeah. No,
throw it on your bar.
Yeah.
So that was a funny.
It's a waste of fruit.
Right. Yeah.
Save it for the next guy.
NFL, no fucking lime, man.
Yeah.
Another addendum to last week, which I forgot. Was one of my greatest fears besides the Bluetooth speaker being pulled out at the bar is someone sticking their phone in my face. And I'll tell you why. So
I'm with you.
But this didn't happen at the bar. The real culprit that really makes me shudder if a phone starts getting handed into my face. Before Breezy had vans and cars and stuff, or ran at 3 a.m, whenever I would get off work at Huckapoo's, like 2011, 2012, something like that. There's another cab company, and there were 2 owners, but then they had a little third, go boy that would work the real late night shifts, know. And he had a voice like this, and he's about 435 pounds, and he thought I was his best friend. So I'm riding home with him one night when I lived on the other end of the island opposite of Huckapoo's. He goes, Paxton, man, how's you not at work? I'm like, fine, man. I'm looking out the window, shoegazing, whatever. And he goes, man, I met this chick the other night. Like, sick. Yeah, man, met her on Facebook Marketplace or some shit, whatever. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Oh, we're like, I don't know, a minute from my house. And we pull up to my house. I'm reaching for the wallet. Slowly out of frame, into frame, comes his phone. And what I see, number one, is his tiny little pecker. Oh. Getting sort of blown by a human caterpillar. A very, let's say, voluptuous, some would even consider. Remember What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah.
Remember the mom?
Yes. Super obese, yeah. Yeah.
He probably had to go to her bedroom because she couldn't get out of the door. Whatever. Yeah. But that screen shot of a video, it's a video. Comes across. I was like, you really? I could literally call the police right now.
I know. Dude, it's such a weird thing, like, with Facebook or just any social media.
And if you got a tiny little pecker, why are you showing everybody? I'm sorry.
It's the screen. No, I don't know about nothing. Yeah. No, it's like you've got Facebook and all social media and all that, and you're more than happy to plop down in front of your computer or your phone and look at endless videos, photos, and all that. But when you're in another environment, you don't want to look at it at all, and much less especially if I'm driving, obviously I don't have time to keep my eyes on the road and look at your video of whether you're popping a balloon or getting blown or whatever the fuck it is. Sorry. But it's amazing how we're cool with indulging it in one way, but at a certain moment, it's like, it's not maybe because the bar's overly busy or anything like that, but I don't want to look at your phone right now.
Right now.
Even if we're talking about like, we were at the same show or this, you might find this funny.
Yeah, here's where I was.
Because what could happen is if you laugh at the first one, another one's coming.
I didn't even think about that minefield. Even if you give them the, cool.
Yeah. So if you, I'm not saying you blow it off entirely, but if you respond or reciprocate, it's like what they're trying to show you, you're getting another one.
I've gone
and then you're getting one more.
I've fully gone to, I'm not looking at that right now.
Yeah.
You have to be rude at some point.
Yeah.
People don't get it unless you're rude.
Yeah.
They can't feel the subtlety anymore.
I don't want them to walk away in tears, but it's like, no, I can't do this right now. And honestly, I don't care. That's why I don't have Facebook.
If we were sitting next to each other at my house.
Yeah.
If you and I were buds like that and we were sitting in the car.
Dude, all right, you and me going to Athens, the only video we really shared together, actually, or really the video of the security robot.
Yeah. And
then the one picture of the dude who may or may not have been you at another state.
Oh, yeah.
But that was the extent of us revisiting.
Yeah.
And I took a few pictures, of the show just because we were there.
Well, I asked the girl to show me a photo of the guy she thought I was.
Yeah, of course. But it wasn't like the next morning I saddled up in bed next to you and like, look at these photos from last night.
So anyways, remember the third song in? This is where I was. This is me in the bathroom.
Yeah.
This is me at the merch line.
But as soon as you become accommodating, it seems like more often than not, then that gets the snowball going. And now any moment you have between drinks.
Do you think that meme was funny? Wait 1 second. Let me hold on.
Yeah,
hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you're gonna love this.
Wait, no, that was my wife's Facebook page. Hold on.
Little Charlie. No, hold on. 1 second. Yeah. Oh, wait. This isn't it, but look at this one first.
But it's close. Yeah.
This isn't it, but hold on. Look at that one first. Okay, you got it? Okay, hold on.
You're proud of the moment. I get it. I totally get it. But especially driving. I don't have time to do this right now, and God forbid it's a stoplight. It's like, please stay green. Stay green.
At least when you're in there breezy, if a stoplight does happen, you're like, oh, breezy, what's happening? You pretend they answered the phone.
Oh, dude, that was that night last night.
I didn't hear it ring.
I caught every yellow red light last night that you could possibly catch.
So I was only with you for 5 to 10 minutes last night, but just that 5 or 10 minutes where you had gotten to work and there was carryover calls from the shift before.
Yeah.
Everything was not falling into place.
No.
And we went to go pick up one of your customers, and we sat in front of the business they were supposed to be at for 5-7 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you were like,
"I'm an eternity in a breezy," by the way, everybody.
Let me tell you, it felt so long to me. Not because I was like, "Oh, we need to go." I was just like,
"Yeah,
wow, I can't imagine," because you're getting phone calls. during that entire time. The osmosis of stress was going on to me so much. Yeah. And then we pull up to do a lap, and the person is in front of the business next to it.
I had a feeling, and this is something that does kind of happen occasionally, and I kind of had a feeling, all right, if they're not here, then they're probably right there. And they were, but I was told they were at this other spot. But again, as we're just kind of making small talk, I'm still like, I come on at 5:30, and it was probably really 8:30 before I finally got in front of things. I know that sounds crazy because it's a small island and all that, but it's and this is not addressing down a Tybee or our regulars or people, especially people who don't know anything about how Breezy works or the timetables and all that. It's just like, if I go to a spot and you're not there, or you change your mind, and it's not like that you're ruining things necessarily, but there are certain places on this little island that are out of the way.
Yeah.
Like if I drive all the way to the Crab Shack and you change your mind, and that moves the needle.
That's 12 to 16 minutes out of your rotation.
Yeah, especially if the next call comes all the way from the very far to the south end.
And I'm gonna tell you, 5 to 7 minutes is an eternity, because if someone calls you and you say 10 minutes and you show up in 17 minutes, they felt like they've been there for an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the same at the bar. Like, you're like, hey, there'll be your pizza will be ready in 10 minutes, and it turns out to be 17 minutes. It might as well be the next day.
Exactly. And it certainly isn't because I haven't been doing this long enough, or Ron hasn't been doing it long enough, or Steven. And we all know the slings and arrows and what can really throw things off. And it happens. You change your mind, that's fine. Even calling and changing your mind, all right, I was literally there. But at least you called. I appreciate you calling back and saying you changed your mind, or you're going to be a little longer, that kind of thing. But I just could not get out in front of it yesterday. The rain, because no one wants to wait in the rain, so now you got to call everybody. And a lot of the numbers that were coming up were just random number. I mean, when I say random, I mean like they're
Iowa, Iowa area codes.
Yeah,
whatever.
But then you get 4 more calls on top of that, and all of a sudden you can't remember if it was Iowa or Nebraska or whatever the hell it was. So you just start calling random numbers. Oh, you just dropped us off. Oh, you haven't gotten to us yet. But it took almost 3 hours in the rain, and it just kept coming and coming. Like every time I'd get my head just above water, somebody'd come by with an oar. Bang! And then
and like you said earlier with the drinking journey or the non-drinking journey, it'd be a waste of your breath to tell them any of the story of what happened before them. Time did not exist before you showed up to pick them up.
Yeah, but it's
it shouldn't to them necessarily, but you're like, hey man, look.
And I'm trying to be, I'm still trying to maintain, a good demeanor.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry for the wait, or sorry for,
It's the real gift.
But no, there was a couple of people that, they were, when I say you're on the phone, some people are programmed in the phone because they're locals and all that. Others, I guess maybe because of their service, they just pop up, their name from wherever it is. It's not a number, it's an actual name.
Oh, right.
That kind of thing. So you're trying to, explain, tell them, I'm sorry for the wait, blah, 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 and all that. But it just kind of keeps coming and coming. And then that's when, and then they want to change things. It's like, well, we thought we wanted to go down front, but now we want to go this way. And I'm like, man, I really need you to go that way.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I really need you to go down front.
I was hoping you were going in the other direction.
Yeah. But it just kind of just rippling, and the rain never helps. I mean, it can make us busy, but it never really helps. It's messy. People have a hard time with that side door and that van.
Do you find that like those numbers you don't know, when you end up calling them back, are they a little more patient about when you get there or when you don't?
Well,
over locals?
And I've said this before, what I've learned is people would much rather call back than be forgotten.
Yeah.
So if I'm in the weeds, and it's not about going to get the bus, it's not going to change the logistics of where I've got to be on the island in a certain amount of time. So it's not about piling more people in. It's about, well, this was way over here, this is way over there. Yeah. So what I end up telling people is like, just call me back in 20 minutes. That doesn't mean I'm going to be there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but just call me back. So
have another beer, whatever. But just call me back in 20 minutes. Let me get out of this.
Smoking a pancake.
Yeah,
I'm going to blitz.
And but some people don't. They just either just don't get it or just don't care.
Yeah.
And they just keep calling and calling and calling, and then you answer the phone with a little more gruffness.
Yeah, right. Look, Breezy will be easy there.
and that kind of happened to a couple of some of our locals.
Yeah.
Regulars last night, and like, are you mad at me? And I'm like, no, I'm not, dude. I'm not mad. I just said I can't tell you. I cannot tell you when I'm going to be there.
Can't give you a timeline. Yeah.
But right now we're looking at 20 plus.
Anything, I promise you, if it's anything over, then that's going to cause way more of an issue.
Yeah. So just we get in the weeds sometimes. Just call back.
Yeah.
I know it's not 20 minutes you wanted to wait more than, but I'm just saying, just give me 20 minutes. then call back and I'll give you a better idea when I'll be there.
And the people waiting outside now since the bugs are starting to come back, which is like a real thing. I was working Thursday day and half of my tables were inside and half of my tables were outside.
Yeah.
And it was almost comical. But every time I would walk out to one of my outside tables, I received one singular bug bite somewhere different on my body. So I could count how many times I walked outside. I was like, I've walked outside 33 times.
Oh, dude, going to Captain Derek's or anything close to the water, dude, you put them in the window just for a second and they just whoosh, come in. The no-see-ums, whatever you want to call them. And people are always like, especially when they don't know Tybee, is it always this bad? I'm like, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
It just gets worse.
Which is like, yeah, it's kind of dumb to complain about bugs or whatever, but I just haven't felt them in a long time, you know? So I was getting, and one of my outside tables, as I'm getting bit up, I didn't know these people. Grandma, mother, father, 2 young kids, you know. And I'm walking away from the table and the dad goes, "Hey, Paxton, do you want anything?" And I was like, I definitely don't know these people. So I turned and I looked at their little boy. They had a boy and a girl. I looked at their little, I was like, "Is your son named Paxton?" And he goes, "Yeah, is your name Paxton?" I said, well, yes. And they go, "How do you spell it? With a Y or an O?" And I was like, "With a what? What?"
I could almost see an I than a Y.
Jaden, Braden, Bladen, everything's got a Y in it now. So I go, "With an O." They go, "Oh, ours is with a Y, Paxtyn."
I guess.
I was like,
"Look,
man, my name is dumb as hell, but at least it's spelled right.
Dumb as hell.
But at least it's right."
Oh, well, dude, I got a name that's got 3 different endings.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
And sometimes with a heart over the I.
Yeah, right. You know? I mean, when I write it. And I told him as much. I was like, "Well, Paxton," they go, "We were drunk."
That old trope.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, well, you know what? Like, at least we found that." But yeah, I was like, "With a Y, yeah. But why?" But when they said the Y, though, I had no idea where to put
it. You told me about that, and I didn't really know how to. I mean, not respond, but I was just like, I guess as I'm sounding it out phonetically, I guess I could see it, but why?
But why? Literally, why?
Why would you put your kid through that? Was it a girl or a boy?
It was a boy.
Huh.
So the Y would have made sense if it would have been the little girl for some reason. Or does it?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
With the guy, I think most guys have a Y if they're Kelly, but I've definitely had ones that have had EY. So I don't know, dude. It's a name.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I got plenty of, that's a girl's name,
sure.
Blah, blah, blah. But never got into a fight over it or anything like that. But
yeah.
Trust me, that's the best joke you got.
Right, yeah.
I never heard that before.
Yeah.
So clever,
yeah.
Mr. Bully.
Oh, Paxton, Tampax.
Yeah, yeah.
No, literally, somewhere so weak they would go, "What are you, R-worded?" I was like, I mean, the name's kind of, yeah, whatever. Yeah. But
just,
yeah. And with new visitors. All right, so we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So some of our listeners aren't completely familiar with Huckapoos, but we have a lot of shops around the area. The coffee shops next to us, and then all the bric-a-brac, knick and knack. Yeah. Another guy comes up. He goes, "So the shops over there. What do you guys do with them? What are they for?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, you're the second person in like 3 weeks. It's like you buy things from them."
You go there, you look around.
So I'm like, "You dumbass," And he goes, "Oh, well, it just looked like in case you guys had really big parties that you would go there for the Bloody Marys, and you would go there." He thought it was overflow, right, that we would open up. That he thought we were all, which is not.
If you didn't know,
didn't know. See, so I took a step. I've been enlightened a lot this past week. I was like, if I just came there, I'd be like, "Oh, that all looks kind of the same."
Well, at least you have the I want to say luxury, because I know there's some nights you're very busy, and I don't have time to break this down for you how the things work around. But like last night, perfect example. It was just, I was due for a night like last night. Bad weather.
And skating along too easy there, Kelly, i.e.
Not necessarily bad customers and all that, but a lot of over-explaining. Not to our regulars, but to people like, "Hey, we're new, we're visiting, we're staying." I was like, "All right, first off, where are you staying?"
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way, and then I'll tell you what your best options are. Plus the rain's what it is. But it's like, all right, so we've heard about the Huckapoos, and they mangled the name. Everybody does.
Yeah, sure.
That's when they're visiting, and or at least for the first time. and wanted to know if there was pool tables. And I'm like, no, there's no pool tables. Well, well, all right. Well, so what else do you think about huckapoos, though? I mean, what's your opinion of huckapoos? I'm like, well, they don't. I mean, you're looking for a place to play pool. The meantime, the phones, you know that boop sound when people are trying to call in.
Yep.
So,
you're on the phone with these people.
I'm on the phone, but I'm getting another call.
Yep.
This is what happens when you're trying to give them the best options. Like, all right, where are you staying? You're staying at the dunes. Considering the weather, you're looking for pool tables. Your best options are Sandbar, Mickey's,
wherever.
But they're walking distance from where you guys are. But if you just want to go to Pooh's just to check it out because you heard about it, I can do that. But if you want something walking distance, but then he goes, okay, well, what else is around there? And I'm like, boop, boop. And I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying.
Sure.
But at some point, I finally just got a little exasperated. I'm like, look, dude, it's pouring down right now. Other calls coming in. If you're looking for pool tables, there's one literally 100 yards from where you're staying.
Yeah.
You on the front side of the dunes? Yes. You can be there. Grab an umbrella. You can be there in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Stop asking me about huckapoos.
Ooh, who's got good lamb?
Yeah. Stop asking me about, is it worth going across the island to go to huckapoos?
Right.
Because they don't have what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Not yet. Not tonight.
Yet.
Right? Not right now.
Yeah.
You're looking for pool?
Here's your place. I gotta go.
Yeah.
And sorry, but
that I had at least 5 or 6 calls like that. People being polite. I'm not saying but
sure,
just like,
they just don't know that you're beeping off the hook on the other line.
Yeah, and we don't. It's not like we're an information hotline, but it was just like,
and
I really need.
It doesn't say
call.
Call Breezy for your concierge service.
Yeah,
but you are. That is a part. I mean, it's a part of my job too.
And I'm fine with. I'm fine with
it when I can.
I'm getting blown the hell up.
Yeah,
it's hard.
I'm fine with it when I can.
It's hard to be accommodating.
Yeah,
without saying "f you" and clicking on it.
So it's a tough thing to navigate, and like you said, you want to be polite, but
I do.
This didn't happen to me, but you could call this sort of polite. The women's bathrooms at Huckapoos now, there's no lock on the door, but you go in and there's 2 stalls with doors on them with locks, whatever.
Okay.
So, a buddy of mine at work, he was working the other day, and somehow a lady crashed through. She was very wasted, apparently. She crashed through one of the stall doors and was holding up business, bathroom business. Yeah. So they go in to check it out, and she's on the ground, and like 2 or 3 of her friends are around her giving her water or whatever. She might have been like diabetic or some shit. I don't know. I don't know if she was wasted or not.
Yeah.
She broke the door, the bathroom stall door. So it's a thing you have to immediately fix. So my buddy, he's got tools in his car, so he goes to get his tools to fix everything, and he's fixing the door. The lady and her friends are still in there, and they're like, we can't tell them to get the F up and get out right now, but we got to get this thing fixed so that we can business continue on. So she gets herself up, and he's like, oh, she's finally leaving. She goes, don't worry about me, honey. She goes into the stall next to him. He hears the waterfall happening. She goes, don't mind me, honey. He's basically screwing the door closed. Don't worry about me. I wasn't.
I was worried at all.
I wasn't. I hate to hear that sound so close to my head, but
oh shit. Well, dude, I remember times, and not super frequently and all that, but there were times somebody would just pass out in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Locked in there.
They would, man, so many people don't lock the door, but the ones who are going to pass out, somehow they lock the thing.
And this was years ago. This was probably even before I drove Breezy and all that. But I remember it was kind of, I mean, not I'll say this about the guys that work at Huckapoos, or the people that work at Huckapoos. They're very ingenuity. Uh-huh. There's ways to navigate stuff without kicking down the door or whatever. Maybe the either it's taking the hinges off.
Said the hinges have come off.
Yeah, whatever it's got to be. But someone's always got a set of tools. Somebody
there,
and they're more than happy to let you know we got a set of tools.
Yeah, if we got to get there.
Yeah.
If we got to do
short of kicking in the door, but you don't have to do because I got
a winch.
Yep.
Like everyone's got something to contribute.
We can come in through the floor if we need to.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's really helpful. Sometimes it's annoying as hell. Like, well, I can go do this, do that. No, just chill.
Well, your Poos is basically a glorified deck. Could you imagine being in one of those bathrooms and all of a sudden seeing a skill saw just through the floor, and then the floor drops out? And
like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Hostel say 8, Huckapoos edition. Oh, you think you can hide in the bathroom? Or like you're inside of a safe. The welder, you know.
Yeah. You see the sparks.
The welding arc comes through.
Got eyes on target. Eyes on target.
Oh, speaking of the bathrooms. Again, I got to have some different perception or perspective about this, but like, I think the bathrooms are pretty clearly marked in terms of every sign has an arrow on it that says restrooms, has an arrow pointing towards it.
Yeah.
Now, they are kind of tucked off in the corner or whatever.
Yeah, they are.
But someone got injured not being able to find the bathroom the other day.
Oh.
Because she walked down past my bar. I know the look. They're looking for the bathroom. So I go, hey, excuse me, miss. She goes, yeah. I go, the bathrooms, and I went to point. I inserted at least a full knuckle into poor Alex's eyeball. My finger came out wet.
Oh, no.
I've been inside of Alex now. He goes, all I saw was knuckle, man.
I'm not laughing, I'm amazed that hasn't happened sooner.
Oh, man. But the thing, I felt like I displaced his eyeball. I was sure I was going to see it dangling.
Yeah.
A full insertion.
Oh, God.
And he was being so sweet about it. He's like, dude, I know you didn't mean to. While it's just going. He goes, I felt a lot of liquid. He was like, I was just hoping it wasn't blood.
Yeah.
Because it felt unnerving.
Yeah.
How far I inserted my finger inside of his body.
No, thank God it wasn't. Hopefully.
I put my finger so far inside of his body.
Dude, that side over there, about the side of the bar, that dark corner, the lead of the ice, and all that. Even not working there, I've had to. I don't say had to, but direct people, because you can just see that lost look. Like,
you know,
this doesn't look like a bathroom.
They're not looking
area.
for their kid.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
they're just right around there. You just missed the sign and all that sort of stuff. But I can see we're very easily. Doink.
Yeah. Oh,
Doink.
But this was. Dude, I'm telling you, full insertion.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
I think
There's no blood.
eye patch.
No. He cried.
Little Visine.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And imagine the condition of my fingers if people are wiping off their limes in there. He might have jaundice today or pink eye or something now. Yeah, I haven't seen him since it happened. But
yeah, that's how these things happen.
Oh, man.
It's not immediate. Usually it's the next day.
If he forgot that it happened, he's like, why can't I open my eye 3 days later? What is this yellow discharge happening? But I think in a little bit of like, I don't believe in karma, but a little bit of karmic payback somehow. So whenever I have to go get the Sharpie and the stapler for people, you know,
yeah,
my little fun thing is to check to see if they're stapled. I'll just hold it close to my hand, pop it off, but far enough distance.
Yeah,
I didn't judge the distance right.
You know, driving breezy, especially it doesn't matter whether it's the van or the bus or There was a time I used to kind of try to give it a little bit of a rub down, not sterilize it because that's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a dude that drove for us for a few weeks, just kind of camps here for a little while, then moves on to the next thing, his next adventure and all that. And he goes, dude, I took a shot back to that thing, one night. He goes, like, literally a day later, you could not tell. I'm like, that's just tight. It's not about us being unsanitary. It's just people are in the sand, the dirt, the rock, the muck, and the mire.
Every day you got people in there.
But if I can wipe down a cup holder or wipe down a door handle, I'll do my best to do that. But sometimes it just feels futile. Not because people are spitting or whatever, but people are just savages. I mean,
especially in stuff that's not theirs.
Yeah. I mean, drunk or not,
in vehicles that aren't theirs. Yeah.
But I try to at least give my steering wheel a rub down, and the gear shift a rub down.
Sure, yeah.
And it's not because I don't think that the guys I work with are sanitary. It's like you don't know whose.
But they're just piling up.
They held.
It's piling up.
Whose hand they held.
It's piling up.
Yeah.
So I went to check the stapler with my hand and held it. Icarus flew too close to the sun. So in some sort of karmic retribution, well, you won't be able to see it on this camera, but yeah, I have two. I mean, full insertion of and these are industrial staples.
Dude, that's how you get this kind of stuff.
Full insertion. I feel okay right now, but we'll see. It looks like a vampire bite almost. But yeah, so that those were all the injuries of the weekend. And so after I stapled that or after I gave the person the stapler, they were like, "Are you sure you're okay?" I was like, "No, I'm fine."
Yeah.
And then it just wouldn't stop bleeding for like a minute or two, so I had to wrap it up. Yeah. But they go, "Yeah, we read about this place and the dollars. It was a national news story. They said you took all the dollars down to help pay your employees during the off season." I was like, "No, that wasn't us. We just did it to help a guy with his chemo, but whatever."
Right.
But I was like, no hate, but I was like, that's cool that a story like that, because that was the sandbar. That was Jen at the sandbar. All credit given.
Yeah.
That they took all their dollar bills down to help keep their employees paid.
Sure.
We were still able to operate during COVID through to-go orders and all that stuff. So we took them down just to help our buddy with his chemo, Yeah. But it was cool that made national news. And they're like, "Yeah, we read about this."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, is that why you came here?" They go, "No, we were already here, but we, as they were looking at the place that they were intending to come to."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I've done the dollar bill thing at some point along the way. I don't know. It's never been really a priority to me and all that. But I wonder how many people have, I'm not saying paid their tab necessarily. Like if they walked up with like 30 of those bills.
I've watched a guy bring like 4 of them up, and I'm like, you fucking serious, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. No one puts a smiley face on Washington's face on ours. It's full on Kelly and David,
right? Yeah, summer of
2014,
that kind of thing. So
boner jams.
Yeah, that wasn't slipped into your pile at the liquor store.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that kind of shit. I have such. Well, I can't think of the right word for it and all that, but it's just
indifference,
benign. It's so lowbrow.
Yeah, right.
That kind of action.
Them trying to pay it. Yeah.
Like I said, not 30 of them, but. I don't know.
Slip one in, yeah.
Shit, you can pick up 6 or 7 of them off the floor any given night.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you could.
Falling off the wall like leaves in fall.
People hand them to me because they're like, "Hey, this fell off."
Yeah,
they never really try to pay.
That's how you give them back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but it's like the lead.
I'm trying slipping it under your $4th there.
Exactly.
Come on, man. Yeah. I know your tricks.
You saw that crisp Lincoln on top, and then there's 5 scruffy ones underneath for your tip.
You didn't think I was going to thumb through these? Well, I don't know if there's any tickets left for this Friday's tribute to Eric Clapton with Eric Daubert, myself, and a lot of other players. But if you're on Tybee on Friday, you could go check it out. And I'll tell you what it won't be like. It won't be like the band we had a few nights ago. Just look, man. Okay. Look at here.
I'm going to look.
You can play covers. I do it a lot. I'm playing all covers this Friday. But, man, if you're doing Wonderwall into Wagon Wheel into Hotel California, like I'm not cool with you, man.
Okay.
Neither was their drummer, I don't think, in this particular band I'm talking about, because as a musician, I can hear when certain band members aren't having a good time if I'm paying attention.
Yeah. So
I'm kind of listening to this band. I was like, man, I would hate to be the drummer for this band. And almost the moment I was thinking that, I think the drummer was feeling the same way too, because literally, I think it was during Wagon Wheel, I started hearing double kick.
Just trying to keep it interesting.
Almost as not a silent protest, but a protest.
Right.
Just pure, like good double kick. So when I was leaving later that night, I pointed at him and I pointed at the kick. He has no idea who the F I am.
Yeah.
But maybe one day he'll be like, "Oh, maybe he was talking about he knew how unhappy I was, so that's why I was playing the double kick so much."
He may not be in the band anymore. It's like this is my closing salvo.
Right. I don't know if I don't know if he was new or whatever. Yeah. If this is his first gig, but like I could feel the dissension.
Yeah.
He weren't happy.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
But I kind of hope I can get a ticket to your thing, because I know that.
We'll figure way. Life finds a way.
Okay.
I mean, we were on a low ticket count last Friday.
It was on a low ticket count a few weeks ago already. No, and it should be. There's some good musicians playing, and I think it's a good thing. I know it's not your favorite artist and all that, but I think it's going to be amazing.
But I like the guys that I'm playing with.
Yes,
so
that's the important thing.
That's good enough for me,
that's
Kelly. All right, guys. Thank you all again for listening this week. Welcome to the season, and Kelly, I hope your car dries out.
Brother, we'll pick that up next week.
We'll discuss that next week, see how that goes. Yeah. To be continued.
It was my own stupidity.
Love you guys. See you next week.